Hey everyone, Jason here, digital marketing consultant, and in this content marketing strategy guide, you're going to learn the 5 steps to creating your content marketing plan and of course putting together your content calendar. Timestamp table of contents in the description along with some other helpful links when it comes to creating and promoting your content. But before we dive into those 5 steps, 3 keys to success when it comes to your content marketing. The first key to success when it comes to content marketing is, of course, consistency. You've probably heard this before, but content marketing is a marathon, not a sprint. So it's very important that even if it's just 1 or 2 posts a week, that it's something that you can commit to and continue to do over and over again for months, if not years to come. Now, the second key to success when it comes to content marketing is choosing one platform, because as a content marketer, most likely you have a business or you're working to promote your product or service. And so this is just one small piece of the bigger picture of your marketing plan, right? So we need to make sure that you don't spread yourself too thin and choose one platform that you're going to become an expert on. And when we get into number 5, you're going to see how you can use one platform and actually post on multiple platforms once you have your system down. And key to success number 3 when it comes to content marketing is done is better than perfect. Something that is posted is so much better than something that is almost perfect, just still sitting on your hard drive or your cloud ready to be posted. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right in. We've already touched a little bit on, but the first one is choosing one platform. So really you have 3 choices when it comes to content marketing. And of course, in step number 3 and 4, we'll get to syndication and actually doing your content calendar. But here you just have to choose what's the one medium, aka the one platform that you're going to focus on. And we'll get to how to syndicate later, but for now, just choose your core. So you have 3 options. You have audio, you have video, and of course you have written. Now, here's something that's really important to remember. Nobody is good at any one of these when they're just starting. There's some people who happen to be really good writers, but for the other 99% of us, we're not good with video, we're not good with podcasting right off the bat, and we're not good with writing educational or fun blog posts right off the bat either. So everything is going to have a learning curve. So as soon as you accept that, then you can choose the one that you actually want to become good at or you want to eventually enjoy, right? After posting over 400 videos on this channel, I still get comments about how terrible my video quality apparently is or how I just ramble on at times and I'm a terrible presenter. You're always going to have haters and you're always going to be improving. So choose one that you actually want to become good at, because we're not going to be good right off the bat, and then move on to step number 2. Now, step number 2 is important before you actually start planning out your content, and that is coming up with your content pillars. And really all we're doing here is we're choosing 3 to 5 big topics that we're going to talk about. And this does 2 things. Number 1, it makes sure that we don't bore our audience, right? We want to keep our content fresh and we don't want to post 5 times a week about the exact same topic. At the same time, when we choose our 3 to 5, it ensures that we are staying focused on what our audience actually cares about. And this is really important, as you're going to see when we get into syndication. Now, as a concrete example for this channel, I talk a lot about marketing and business, freelancing, entrepreneurship, consulting, but let's just say we needed 3 or 5 categories to put all of those different topics into. Well, we'd have social media marketing, we'd have digital advertising, and we would have membership sites. And then that way, if I was posting 3 or 4 times per week, I would make sure that I'd rotate through those different topics so I don't have a week where all I talk about is digital advertising. Because if someone's subscribed to my channel or they're reading the blog or if I'm doing a podcast, then all of a sudden you're going to start to lose people because they're going to look and say, oh, he's talking about that again? I don't care about that. Skip, skip, skip. And then eventually, whatever platform you're on, the algorithm will see that people aren't engaging with your content anymore because they're not interested, and then they'll drop off and you won't be in suggested anymore, which is why it's very important to rotate your topics so you stay relevant and stay consistent, and it gives you more chances to be in front of people, because someone who really cares about social media may not care about membership sites. But if I had an entire week all dedicated to membership websites and I had a large chunk of subscribers who don't care about membership websites, so they don't click on any of my videos, that signals to YouTube that all those people don't care about my content anymore. Whereas if I had alternated, I did one on topic 1, one on topic 2, one on topic 3, then I have more chances for people to remain engaged, and the YouTube, Facebook, Instagram algorithm, whatever you're looking at, is going to see that people are still engaged with your content. Now we're ready to talk about your posting schedule. So this is going to be the most important part. Now, just to get this out of the way, we're not gonna do it depends. I personally recommend that no matter what you're doing, you need to be posting at least 3 core pieces of content per week. That's just my personal opinion. So there you go. I'm not gonna say it depends. However, if that seems too much for you and all you can do is post 1 per week, well, 1 per week is better than none per week, and you just have to recognize that it's going to take you a tremendous amount of time to actually get the results that you're looking for if you're only gonna post once per week. For example, my YouTube channel was pretty much stagnant because for the first 9 months, I only posted 1 video a week. It wasn't until I started doing 3 videos, 5 videos a week that the channel growth actually started to pick up. And even then, it still took about 2 years and 400 videos to actually start seeing a snowball effect and a return on all of my time in terms of actually attracting clients. So there's a link in the description to a free Google Sheet that you can get as part of the free Aspire Notebook membership. And it's the exact same sheet that I personally use. You're going to see it in the next step. And this has just been really helpful to me in terms of planning out when I'm going to post and more specifically what I'm going to post. And as you can see from this diagram, something I recommend doing is having content days. So in this particular example, on Monday, I'll talk about digital advertising. On Wednesday, I'll talk about membership sites, and on Friday, I'll talk about social media. And that way you make sure that you're creating pieces of content for each one of those days and you're rotating through your pillars and topics. So of course, if you're gonna post 5 times a week, then go ahead and create 5 different pillars. So you're talking about something that's relevant to your audience, but it's a different piece of content each day. So you're evenly rotating through things and you're not just talking about one topic for 5 or 6 days in a row. Now, once you've decided how many times per week you're going to post, it's time to actually plan out your content. And this is where keywords and titles come in. I highly recommend that you plan out at least a month in advance and you do all of your keyword research and all of your title research and title writing in one sitting. I personally like going to a coffee shop and I sit there for 5 to 6 hours and I just do all of the keyword research and all of the titles based upon my different content pillars for each day of the week. Obviously, it will take you a lot less time if you're not trying to post 5 videos a week or whatever your content is, but it's very important that you plan out your keywords and your titles ahead of time. That way, during the month, while you're going through and creating your content, there's a lot less friction in terms of anxiety over, I don't know what I'm gonna talk about today. That's a real problem when it comes to content marketing. So let's remove that anxiety right off the bat. Let's do all of that research in one fell swoop. It's actually gonna be a lot easier because you're going to be able to plan out and make sure that you're not talking about the same thing 5 or 6 days in a row. You're gonna be able to be very strategic with the different topics and you'll be able to space out your content and see everything that you're doing in a month. And then you can just put your head in the sand and make content, and then come up for air at the end of the month when it's time to do your content calendar again. And this is exactly how I write my content, batching it together, and it has made a world of difference in terms of producing YouTube videos. So now let's get to the final part, step number 5, which is syndication. So at this point, you know what your core medium is. We've talked about how to figure out what your content pillars are going to be, and then of course, organizing your posting days of the week based upon those content pillars, doing all your research in one fell swoop. But we've only been talking about one platform, right? You're either doing a podcast, you're doing video, or you're doing a blog. Well, what about everything else? Great question. So when it comes to your core medium, the reason why I recommend using one of these 3 is because they can easily be syndicated to other platforms. So I'm going to use YouTube as an example because that's personally what I do. So whenever we post a YouTube video, our video editor will go through and he'll cut out little pieces of what's going on in the video, and then those will be 60-second videos over on Instagram. and then someone else on the team puts together Pinterest pins, and then we pin it over on Pinterest and we get some Pinterest traffic over. It's a tiny trickle, but hey, it's not that much more work. Then on LinkedIn, we create a pulse post, and on Facebook, we do post the thumbnail and the link every once in a while. Of course, I have the tiniest Facebook page in the world, so the reach is pretty much zero, but this is just an example of how you can take one piece of content and chop it up into little pieces and spread it out to other platforms. Now, of course, it's important that it actually makes sense to chop it up and spread it out to other platforms, right? So if you're doing written, then you can either have someone record it and record reading it and turn it into a podcast, or you can read through it and turn it into a podcast. And then if you don't want to be on camera, you can take that audio and put it on YouTube and put up some slides, or just put up a picture of you and just have the entire video, the podcast. That works too successfully for quite a few channels. So as you can see here, you can create a lot of content off of all of the initial work you did on one of your core pieces of content, and then you'll go through your content calendar again and you'll decide on which days you'll post on those syndication platforms. So it's great if you're looking at, you're only posting 3 times a week on your main one. Maybe you want to do some more work posting on those off days that you have, those breaks on some other platforms that aren't going to require as much work because you're just syndicating what you already put together. So if you're getting some value out of this video and this is making sense, go ahead and hit that like button. Comment below if you have any questions. Before I wrap up, I have one pro tip for you, and that is when you're starting, delay your start date for your content calendar. So what that means is if you're putting your content calendar together this week, don't have the content calendar start next week. Have it start the week after. So you have a 1-week buffer to start making content, something that's been astronomically valuable to me as a content creator and working with a team, even if you don't have one yet, is having that buffer time between when you make the content and when you post the content. Because something that's really important to remember is life happens. Sometimes you get sick. Sometimes someone on your team gets sick. Sometimes computer mishaps happen. Whatever the case may be, they're going to be a lot less stressful if you're not worried about getting out your piece of content the very next day. Personally, on my channel, I try and make sure that we have at least 1 week's worth of videos done, but that only worked because when we started in the way beginning, I made sure that I just delayed a week before we started making our videos, so we'd always be at least a week ahead. So thank you so much for watching. I sincerely hope you got some value out of this video. Hit that like button, subscribe for more digital marketing tactics and strategies just like this one, and until the next video, keep building the business you love.